My name is Cassy Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on the Curious Universe. Let's get curious today about one of my favorite topics, which is magic, but also where we as magical creatures aren't truly acknowledging just how magical we are. And I would like to break some of that down with you today, if possible, and see what can we explore and where are you willing to open yourself up to acknowledging that you truly are the creator of your reality, that you create your life. Everything that shows up in your life is based on something that you've created. And it shows up as if by magic. Now, as if by magic, often we use it as in reference to something like delightful and exciting. But something as if by magic could also be those really crappy things that maybe we wish we hadn't created. The gift in acknowledging it is that if you go, okay, so what choice did I make that created this? Cool. You can actually use the access consciousness tool, the clearing statement. We've talked about this on other shows. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POT, all 9 shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. I'll probably be using that through this show. If you want more information on it, please go to www.theclearingstatement.com for more information. Today, we're just using it like a magic wand. If you need more information, go there. We're not going to go into the whole thing today. Okay, so you get the sense of, okay, I made this choice here that created this here. That's not to judge you and be like, I'm such an idiot. It's to go, I'm so powerful. I can literally destroy my entire life in one choice. And I can create a universe of possibility in one choice. That's how powerful you are. And that's the part of like, when I talk about magic, it's not just, bibbidi boppity boo. It's really this sense of you being the magician in your life. And to be the magician in your life, you have to claim that you are the source, that you are that creative element. You are the magic. And you receive magic. We receive from the universe. We receive from the earth, from the food we eat, from the people around us, right? We receive. Yet, are you willing to see yourself as the source of magic in your life? Now, a lot of us go, that can be intense. It seems too powerful. Is that even allowed here? No, it's not, actually. But what if you're willing to have it anyways? I mean, don't you kind of like breaking the rules? Aren't you like a little bit of a rule breaker? Even the ones that think that they follow rules to a T, there are certain rules where you just will not align and agree with. I know it. So what if you didn't align and agree with the idea that you being as magical as you are isn't allowed here? You just don't resist and react, don't lie, where you just go, that's an interesting point of view. I'm going to have it anyways. So why is it so relevant right now to be looking at this topic is that I see the world going down some interesting paths, right? I actually have a global awareness and a global community, you could say, that I tap into. So I know kind of my country, Canada. I have a sense of what's going on here. I have a sense of what's going on in Sweden right now. I have friends that are living in Russia. I know people from the Ukraine. I know, people over in China. So it's like the whole world is having a lot going on, right? And we can feel as though just this one little person, I can't change what's going on in Russia. Like, I don't even live there. Like, the best I could do is like donate to some cause, right? Like donate to the Ukraine, or try and like wake people up to what's going on. It's always this kind of like feeling like you're lost in the ocean of impossibility. And then we can go into the logic of no, like your voice matters, and like all of these kind of things that a lot of people talk about. And it does. That stuff is important. But there's something that people are not talking about right now that I would like to talk about is your magic matters. Your attention, like literally when you put your attention on something, being the magical, miraculous being that you are, it starts to change. Just you putting your attention on something. Even science tells us this about if you put your attention on a particle, it influences the particle, right? So how is it that we can go, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But then if I put my attention on the people of Ukraine, I'm not acknowledging that that's influencing the particles of Ukraine, the people there. Are you willing to acknowledge how truly potent and powerful and magical you are? So if I put my attention on all the devastation, what I notice is I feed the devastation. And I can get really upset, right? I'm just like, oh my God. And it builds up and I get more upset and then I feed it more. And I can kind of get sucked into the story and the narrative that is literally being delivered to me. So I'm becoming a product of the environment rather than being that which affects the environment, right? So I get information and I usually I don't watch the news, ask the universe to give me the information I require. And it just weirdly will show up. Someone will just send me an article randomly, or a video will pop up in my feed. And I'm like, oh, I need to watch that. And I'll watch that video. An email will show up. So I'll have a conversation with a friend. Okay. The universe will deliver to me that which I require to know and put my attention on. And then I put my attention on it. When I put my attention on it, it's not from I'm going to feed this is so wrong. I would put my attention on the situation. And my first question would be, what's really going on here? Because I don't know about you, but I don't believe everything that's told to me. Actually, I've never been that way. I was the kid always asking questions of the grown-ups that they did not like because most of them did not have answers for it. And it wasn't to be a brat. It's truly like I was curious. I was interested to know for what reason this was going on. And so what I realized is that a lot of people are functioning off of lies that they don't even know that they're functioning off of. So it asks the question, hey, what's really going on here? Now, you might be thinking, what is she talking about? You read an article and you're asking the question. Yeah, because I'm accessing my consciousness, my awareness. I'm accessing the global consciousness of the whole world. And what that means is I'm not separate from a person like on the ground living in Ukraine. We're not the same person, but I don't buy into separation. I know that we are all part of oneness. We're all part of this consciousness. So if I tap into what's really going on here, I can pull from anyone. I can pull from people in Ukraine. I can pull people from Russia. I can pull from kind of the global ambassadors, the people that are involved in different ways, and what's going to come forward in my awareness. This is why I love getting curious. This is the whole concept of curious universe, is to show you and engage with you in ways to explore your own universe of awareness. So when I ask what's really going on here, I'll get a sense. Sometimes it's just an energy. Sometimes I actually get information. I can get a download. I can get a moving picture in my head. Okay. And it's going to show up different for you. And if you're new to this, just keep practicing and you'll find your flow with it. Don't expect like trumpets and like parades the first time you do it. You might be like, nothing's happening. And you might actually already do this in your own way and kind of get this awareness. But if you ask any question, it like vibrates. You could think of the quantum entanglements, okay, of like this cobweb of connection that will vibrate through the cobweb to get you all the information you require, and then it will come back to you. So that might take a little bit of, if you have been kind of avoiding that or blocking it out or not acknowledging when it shows up, you might think nothing's showing up. But if you start to just be there with it, keep practicing, it's going to become very fast and very easy and really fucking cool to explore what you know, even though you have no basis for that knowing. You can't prove it. You didn't, maybe go have a conversation with someone, but you will actually get awarenesses from this space of consciousness. That's your knowing. That's not your thinking. Your mind can only tell you what it has already learned. It's like if you have like a binder and you open it up and you flip through and there's tabs like, okay, war, and you flip it open and you go, okay, what does my mind know about war? That's all it can tell you is what's in this book already, what you've been taught. Your consciousness, your knowing can access stuff that you like. Have you ever had someone, you've said something and someone said, well, how do you know that? And you're like, I don't know. You have no basis for it. Well, that's an indication. If you have no basis for information you have, that is somewhere you access something that you know. And what if you trusted what you knew more than what you're being fed as information? So I'd ask the question, what's really going on here? And I'd get a sense of it. And then I would ask, okay, consciousness, what can I contribute to a greater possibility showing up? And then you just kind of get an energy. You might find like you're getting like tingly sensations in your body, or a rush of heat, or you might actually feel tired for a moment. You might, again, get pictures or words showing up for you, colors. And you might feel like nothing's happening. That's okay. Really, if you do this for 6 months, you will have cultivated a capacity with the magic of knowing dynamically. If you just stick to it, give yourself 6 months, and then you're gonna be like, I can't even imagine what it was like 6 months ago, because you'll have opened up so much to this capacity. So then what I know is that my contribution, so I asked that question, right? And then I'm willing to be the energy. I'm willing to be the catalyst. I'm willing to be the source for consciousness. I'm willing to be that for this. And I don't have to cognitively get what it is that I'm shifting or changing or contributing to. I just know that it is. And then I move on. Now, I have had, so it might be like a drop in a big ocean, and in your little drop of contribution like sends out a ripple that creates a change, right? This is part of that quantum entanglement. It's like a butterfly flaps its wings in China, and that creates an earthquake, in California, like where everything is actually interconnected. So sometimes the effect you have might seem really small, and it might have a long time to ripple. It might ripple out 10 years. And sometimes your influence will actually be quicker and a bigger impact. I've asked for things and seen it shown up on a huge scale. And then I would go, is this from my ask? And it's so like light in my world. And remember, anything that is true for you, this is from your knowing, will have a sense of lightness. And if there's a lie attached, you're going to have some heaviness there. And it's kind of unfathomable to believe that because I asked a question or because I was willing to put my energy on something, that it completely changed. But what if it's true? And what if when you put your attention on something, it can completely change? What if you just even been willing to ask? Asking, like truly asking, is magic. It's a capacity. It's like a superpower, like let's go back to like the cliche, like witches with spell books, right? And they're like doing incantations and they're casting spells. Well, maybe spells don't work the way that they used to work anymore. But what does work right now is asking. Asking is invoking the universe to co-create a possibility with you. So asking could be as simple as, hey, what would it take for consciousness to be the dominant energy on planet Earth, the dominant way of functioning on planet Earth? That's a big ask, right? You could be a smaller one. What would it take for me to get a new vehicle? Maybe you require a new vehicle, you desire one. What would it take for me to get a new vehicle? That is, no, it doesn't seem significant or kind of woo-woo-y. We're like, well, that's not magic. That is magic. That's actually magic. For you to ask for something and then it to show up, that's magic. Because this reality says that's not possible, that's not how it works, that you have to work hard, that you have to figure it out, that you need to know how it's going to show up. Asking and receiving is true magic. And of course, there are the mysterious things that show up. There are the magical creatures and the engagement. And, as we go into the month of Halloween, I love it because people start to like open up. Those that are kind of closed during the rest of the year, they'll start to open up to like, I wonder if magic does exist. I wonder if I could speak to beings that don't have bodies, or the other side, as they call it. They start to open themselves up to those energies that are actually there all year round. I engage with them every day of my life. They're all there. And so as we move into this new space, we could start to explore magic from this as well. From what do you know about magic at this time of the year? And I do sense that, different energies are available at different seasons, if you will, not necessarily from the significance or the form or structure of it, but as the earth has its seasons, the energies will have different seasons as well. And I do notice like earth magic definitely has this ripening sense for me in Canada in autumn, fall, and that is when we harvest, right? That's this is the time when the farmers would be harvesting the squash and the pumpkins and the apples and those types of things. And through so many years, we used to, as people, create with the earth in a different way. We would know this time of harvest. We would have this sense of massive gratitude for the earth as we move into having enough food to sustain us through the winter months. Now, if you live in a different part of the world, you might notice something completely different. Your season will be different. What are you aware of there? What do you see show up in particular seasons? And so when you start to acknowledge that, so now we were looking at the magic, here that you are, and the magic that you create, and the magic of like just putting your attention on something, right? So we went here, and then now we're out here, and we're perceiving the earth, and we're perceiving this magic that starts to become available, and your engagement with it. So what is it to engage, to like actually be with something, to not be back here just so much as like an observer, but actually engaging your energy with the magic that's showing up. That will allow, I want to say dances with magic to show up. It's like when you could go to a party and you could disengage. I'm going to disengage from the party. I'm going to sit at the side here. I'm going to be on my phone, kind of ignoring everyone because I don't know if I even want to be here. Maybe I'm too good to be here. And you're like kind of off here, right? And you can have a sense of kind of what's going on, but you're not really engaged with anything that's going on. That's how most people are with magic. It's going on all around them and they're just kind of disengaged. Then you could put down the phone. You could be in the room. You could hear the music, you could decide that you're going to go dance, and then you might end up finding yourself dancing with someone wonderful that you just met that night. And this whole kind of magical event starts to unfold from that choice to engage. It takes that first choice. You take that one choice. I'm going to engage with magic here. So whether I use that party example, but now let's use, I'm going to go out into the earth. So I've seen people that are, they're walking with the earth and it's truly like the most spectacular views. Or there'll be this like bird that's like singing its heart out for you and they don't even notice it. It's kind of like as if it's just a backdrop and they're in their mind. This is the most important, relevant thing is what's going on in their mind. And then they've decided exercise is appropriate and needed. And so they're like getting their exercise, right? But they're missing everything. When I engage with the earth, even if it's just my plants, this is where a dance with magic starts to show up. It's really quite spectacular to be a part of. And you can do this every day. So when you go out with the earth, what magic, this is a question. Remember I talked about questions are magic. So you activate something just by asking the question, what magic could I engage with today? What earth magic could I engage with today? What body magic could I engage with today? What money magic can I engage with today? And your engagement starts to create this unpredictable occurrence of magical things showing up. And I say unpredictable because as if by magic is quite unpredictable. And one of the gifts of magic is its unpredictability. We want to have a spell book and we say the spell and we know exactly what's going to happen and it's predictable. Does that have any sense of magic to you? No, that's a formula. That's a mathematical formula. Magic is you engage with the quantum entanglements of the elementals. You engage with question. You engage with magic. You engage with the earth. And in that curiosity, things will start to show up that you can't predict and that you can't control. And that's where the fun is for me anyways. So when I go out, I don't want to just go out and go for a walk down by the creek. I look at like, what could I see that I've never seen before? What could I engage with here that I've never engaged with before? I've received gifts from like energetic beings for my willingness to be aware and my willingness to engage with them. They desire to give to you. Isn't that amazing? So how many magical creatures are aware of you and have actually been desiring to gift to you, have been trying to gift to you, and you have not even noticed. your engagement, so that's when we talk about being present with someone and putting your attention on something, starts to cultivate magic in a totally different way. So maybe you are very curious about All's Halloween. Maybe you're very curious about the other side, the entities of the world. Okay, what if you engaged with them? What do you know about engaging with entities? Maybe you are really curious about earth magic and how the earth, we think we've discovered everything with science. We've learned a lot, but there's also this other undertone of things that we don't know, that we don't yet have a description for. For example, if you have your own garden, right? Say you tend to your garden and you grow vegetables in it and you eat those vegetables, they can taste very different than a store vegetable. Of course, maybe you're like, I use different soil, I used a different seed. Of course, all of these things. But what if part of the magic of the earth is that it can be aware of the bodies in connected to the land that's tending to that vegetable, and it can photosynthesize itself. It can create the vitamins in such a way that it's the greatest contribution to those bodies digesting it. Isn't that magical? It's magical to me. When I started to grow my own vegetables and I noticed this, and in my communication with my plants, I discovered this, and it kind of blew me away at first. I was in awe and so much gratitude that the earth had so much caring for my body and so much engagement, awareness, and nurturing for my body. Pretty incredible, huh? Yeah. So there's so much richness and wonder to be had with magic. There's so many different ways to engage with it and be with it. There's kind of these like kind of practical daily things like asking questions, being curious, receiving, engaging with magic that's going to start to show up your life to be more magical. Yes, thank you so why was I even talking about this being so relevant right now? Is that I know that there's some people that are really scared. And they feel like this kind of overwhelmed, like they have no power. So if you feel like I have no power, like my country chooses like what's allowed and what's not allowed. I can't do this. I can't do that. This isn't safe. This. Do you sense all that heaviness? So what do we know about heaviness? And like the contraction is that there's a lie. There's a lie. And the lie is that you have no power. What if you have all the power? So they might have some domination over some rules with this reality. Do they have magic? Do they have magic available to them in the way that you do? So who has more power? Who has more potency, more capacity? Now more than ever, I would say tend to your magic because you're going to fucking need it. You're going to need it more now than ever. And not from trying to overpower and not from trying to even defend, but from that space of having true and total awareness. And then, so you have the awareness of what's required, and then utilizing your magic to create the greatest possible scenario showing up for you continuously. Imagine you could actually truly be this maestro of your universe, this maestro of your world, no matter what's going on around you. For example, What if there's some kind of rule and for some reason, no one checks your ID, you fall through the cracks, somehow you got away with it. Has that ever happened to you? Like maybe there was a rule at school and it was like, no hats allowed, and you forgot to take off your hat and somehow no one noticed that you were wearing it. That's the magic. It's actually magical that you can go unnoticed. You can actually make yourself invisible when you were required to. We call it infinite. You can actually allow your body and your whole being to be infinite to those that are trying to stop you or look for you. You can, maybe I'll make a YouTube video on that one because that's a great magic tool to have. You can ask for things to show up. You can put your attention on things and allow them to start to change for you, right? You could even ask the question, what would it take to change this? What contribution can I be? You can know when to not be somewhere that's not safe for you. That these are all aspects of magic and of being the magic that you are. It requires you to step into and claim, own, and acknowledge that potency and that power that you are, not to buy the lie that you're powerless. You are powerless. You are powerless. And you know what? They're going to show you things like, well, look at this person. They spoke out. They used their voice and they're in jail right now. Yeah, that's their deal with consciousness. It's not your deal with consciousness unless you create it that way. What's your deal with consciousness? What are you here to create? And what capacities and magic do you have available so that the greatest possible scenario shows up for you every single day? We know that some people during COVID lost everything. And then we know some people became millionaires, billionaires. And then there's everything in between, right? So what if luck isn't, or they did the right thing? What if it's actually the magic? It's actually, well, it's kind of two things. One, it's like the magic showing up, the willingness to have something different, even when the whole world is in devastation, the willingness to be like, I'm going to become a millionaire. How can I use this to my advantage? What can I create here? What can I have here? What can I create here? What can I be here? What can I choose here? What magic is available to me here? What magic is available to me that might not be available to anyone else? And then, so then there's that piece. And then there's, a whole, I'm not going to get into all the other stuff that could be going on, but look here for you, your universe, your awareness. So what if you started to tend to your magic, to start to open up your capacity so that you get to be one of the people that somehow slip by, that somehow just have glorious things show up? You're going to be the person that people are like, you know what, if shit goes down, I want to be near you. It's almost like you become the lucky charm, right? I've had people say that I want to travel with you because things are always easy when you travel. Because that's my reality, is that it's easy. What if you could be that for you in your life? You have to be willing to, one, acknowledge the magic that you are, and two, that you are the creative source for your life and your living, that no matter what's going on in the world, you always have choice, you always have power. And it's about asking questions and using the magic you have available and growing that magic to be even more. The rest of this month, we're going to be looking at magic, and I'm going to have on some really amazing guests to talk about magic from their awareness, magic from their lives. You can get some great stories that you could pull from, and to know that magic shows up differently for everyone. It's perceived differently, it's received differently, and people play with it in different ways. So I hope you join me for the rest of this month as I have these amazing guests on and we explore magic together. I would love for you to get a greater sense of your magic from these. So please, as you listen, as you engage with these episodes, get curious about your own universe with this. Get curious about your own capacities and your own magic. The world requires more magic right now. And you truly are it. You are the magic the world has been waiting for. Thank you for being here with me through this episode, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you for exploring the curious universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?